Namaste, Jai Bharat. Today is Persian New Year. They call it as Navrosh. And in Sanskrit, we call New Year as Navvarsh. Do you see any similarity? Yes, indeed. The Farsi language, Persian language, Avastan, and such languages have their connections to, if not roots in, Sanskrit. Many words, for example, father, Pitra. Now, these things are, they have so many words in common. So that's how the Avastan and the Farsi language is related to Bharatiya Sanskriti, and our language of Sanskriti is Sanskrit and related to this. So Iran is fundamentally, before that Omar who came to Islamize Iran, they were a very rich nation culturally who had really translated many Sanskrit texts into Farsi language, and they had very rich literature. That's the reason you find that when the Muslims in Bharat wanted to use a script different from the one in which the Vedas are written, that's Devanagari, they adopted the Persian script. Though these people, the Mughals and the Turks, they have nothing to do with the Shia section of Islam, but they went for the Persian because that's a language which had a rich literature, at least a literature as compared to other Islamic languages, if I'm allowed to call so. So that kind of a rich language they used, that really calls for rich culture. Another thing is, if you recall, when the Rome attacked Greece and destroyed their Greek Hellenistic religion, the Greek philosophers and scholars took refuge in Iran. That's when it was ruled by a Hindu king, Darius. Darius 1, 2, there are quite a few others. So that is a Hindu king. So this used to be our relations and connections with Iran right from the beginning. It's not Islam. Islam had come and destroyed everything. Now the situation in Iran is miserable. It was ruled by, first of all, Islamization. Look at any nation which got Islamized. They were uprooted from whatever they used to be in the past. And in Iran, in 1979, the Shah, supposed to be a king, was removed, ousted by radical Islam, religious, call it as fundamentalist or fanatics, whatever it is. And this Khemeini or etc. comes into authority. It was in 1979. And then after some time, not very long, he started feeling or fearing that the army, navy, air force, kind of Iranian forces, their loyalties are supposed to be with the king, the crown, the Shah of Iran, Iranian king. So anytime there may be again a change of regime. This Khemeini has already enacted a change of regime by virtue of Islamic authority and became himself as a supreme commander of the ultimate sort. But then he became scared. He thought that if the forces react and revolt against him, he will again lose whatever he had acquired. So he had created a separate army kind of a thing, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is called IRGC. And ever since IRGC is beyond everyone. IRGC don't report to the president, don't report to whatever is there if by way of some appointments. IRGC's job is to protect the Supreme Commander. It's something like, not exactly, something similar to that of the President of India, who is a Supreme Commander of Armed Forces. But the President of India is a President of India and exceptionally noble. the very chair is a chair of nobility. And if you see the history of Bharat, a president of India was never controversial for anything. So, President of India is the supreme commander of the armed forces of Bharat, and he conducts himself as supreme commander. And the commission that you get in the forces is the president's commission. Even for the junior commissioned officers, it's a president's commission, the certificate comes. It's a president's commission. So that structure is there. But much apart from this, the IRGC keeps the supreme commander, untouchable supreme commander is the Ayatollah, whosoever is there, and their primary job of IRGC is to protect the supreme commander. So that makes therefore this IRGC need not to and shall not report to anyone else. The president, others are of course not really in picture. So that was conducted. Then of course in the recent war, where Trump keeps telling so many things. Trump keeps telling because he's a trader. One day he says, I'll stop the war now. Another day he attacks. He doesn't say that he'll continue war, but he attacks. So there's drama going on. He says that he stops the war, then the changes, the shift in stock market, then people buy, sell, they do the trading activity. Then he starts it, again it comes down, again this drama goes on. And he says that, he says so many things, and one has to connect so many things together to get any picture if it is possible. So he says that, look, we have eliminated all the leaders of the past. Now the present regime there is soft, not so radical, so it's possible that we can talk. But Iran, whoever is their authority, we don't know who really is talking for Iran, representing Iran. We don't really know, because everybody is speaking and nobody is speaking is the situation in Iran. We can talk to them, we can have dialogues, we can end the war, etc. This story goes on alongside the war. That's a Trumpian statistics and Trumpian method of politics. This puts the IRGC in fear. The IRGC now doesn't, in any case, they don't report to anybody else. There's a supreme commander appointed, one Mustafa or Mustafa Khemeini. I don't know how they pronounce it. That's why I just said all the kinds of pronunciations which are familiar to me. So this man is missing, and he is not to be seen. There are narratives that where is he? Maybe he is hiding. Maybe he is waiting for an appropriate time to make his appearance. Maybe that he knows that if he comes in limelight, he shall be killed like all others are killed. Maybe all these things are possible. Or Trump himself was telling this Khemeini is disfigured and rendered west. Somebody says that he is taken refuge in Russia. We don't know. Everything is possible, but we really don't know. These are all speculations. Anyway, that the person is not dead. Nobody talks to him, nobody can talk to him. And the story says that Pezeshkian, the president of Iran, even he tried to talk to Mustafa and failed, could not talk. Where, how, until we don't know. So the situation is that IRGC doesn't know where the Supreme Commander is. IRGC even do not know whether or not the Supreme Commander really do exist or not. So they stop taking orders from everyone. Which means it's IRGC is almost taken over Iran. It's a kind of military rule that's going on now. Whether the Islam military is very radical Islams or not, we don't know. Should be naturally very radical Islams, it should be. The structure, their existence is that. So such confusions in Iran, we do not know what's going on. Anything is quite possible. Just because Iran is a closed society, their culture, their history is apart. Presently, It's iron curtain. We do not know what's happening inside, and there's no way to know what's going on inside, and there's no way to know how the people are. I have student Iranian, so I don't want to talk to her about these kind of things. I never talk, except very lighter things like the word similarity in Farsi and other things, Sanskrit, etc. So I would like to always make it light talks, because I don't want the child to get hurt or sentimental. I don't know what they really think of the regime. I didn't want to also find out. But Iran is unknown, and as the case stands, unknowable. Whatever politicians say, whatever US says, Israel doesn't say anything. Israel is clear. That part I am very clear. Israel wouldn't make one wrong statement. They continue doing like what Bhagavan Sri Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita, Karmanya Vyadhikarastha. They continue doing their work because they have a definite objective and definite work. Let's see what happens, and it's not really good for anyone in the world. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.